Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host, Boise, and what a SmackDown Live we got last night. We had a legend return to SmackDown Live. We had Becky Lynch send a clear message to Charlotte Flair, and we had the first part of the triple threat tag team match to find out who's going to be the number one contender to take on the New Day at Hell in the Cell. With all that in mind, please guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to keep notified. This is Smack Talk's SmackDown Live review. Hit the music. So we kicked off the show with none other than the New Day, and this was great. They were celebrating their 5th tag team championship, and it was brilliant. The Toronto crowd were absolutely over with the New Day. I'm over with the New Day. I think they're fantastic, and they were chanting pancakes. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E are probably one of the most over tag teams right now in all of sports entertainment, and you can tell why. They just know how to work the crowd, and that's always great. They were celebrating, and Big E's like, look, I can finally say it. We're not the 1-time champs. We're not the 2-time champs. We're not the 3-time champs. We're not the 4-time champs. We're the and the music hit. Can you dig it, Saka? And it was none other than WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. But not just any Booker T. King Booker was back on SmackDown Live, and it was great. The crowd went mental. New Day kneeled for the King of SmackDown Live, and that was fantastic to see. Booker giving him, honorary membership to the 5-time club, as well as names like Xavier the Wise, Kofi the Brave, and Big E. And Big E went mental with it. Just go, you've got no Saxon on me. And you could tell King Booker was not pleased with that sentence. But everything was said and done. King Booker welcomed them to the 5-time club. And we even got a spinneroonie from the King himself, which was brilliant. Everyone from the New Day also joined in, apart from Big E, because he can't do the spinneroonie. But Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston did help. This is a great start to the show, and it was very much entertaining from start to finish. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Quickly moved us on to the first match of the night, which was the first of 2 triple threat matches to find out the number 1 contender for the tag team titles, and that was the Bar versus the Clones versus Gallows and Anderson. That's right, the Clones are back on TV, and it's been nearly over a year now since these two have been on, but they looked really sharp. I think this was a great opening match for SmackDown Live. It has a storyline to it. It's, everyone's competing, and it just shows how stacked the SmackDown Live tag team division really is when you can have 2 triple threat matches to find out the number 1 contender, which is great. Everyone looked sharp. Gallows and Anderson for me were particularly brilliant last night. I was surprised how well they performed. The Clones were really good as well. Being off TV for such a long time, not being shown, just shows how much that really affects a superstar. And if you've got that momentum to try and get back on TV, they proved it last night. But they're ready to get more and more on-screen presence, and I think they will do really well now. And the Bar, they're just brilliant. They know how to work the crowd. They're really hard. They are the 2 hardest workers in the company. You can tell it's Cesaro and Sheamus, and they're just entertaining to watch. No matter if they're face or heel, they're just brilliant to watch. It looked like the Clones were going to get the win over, but Cesaro managed to tag in just in time to knock the Clones out, with Sheamus taking them outside the ring, and Cesaro and Sheamus pinning Big Luke Gallows. But for me, this is a bit of a shame. As I said, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson haven't had the best time yet on SmackDown Live, and I just feel like that the pin should have gone to the Clones more than the Gallows and Anderson. So a bit of a shame there, but the match itself was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. We also got a quick backstage bit with Paige where she announced who's going to be on the next triple threat match next week, and we're going to have the New Day, we're going to have the Usos, the Sanity, and Rusev Day. That's right, Rusev Day have also been added to the tag team triple threat match. I think this is great. New Usos are brilliant, Sanity are chaotic, and Rusev Day are absolutely over. So I can't wait to see what happens next week. Rusev thought this was all Lana's doing, but it wasn't. It was Aiden English. Paige said no. Paige and Lana went, no, it wasn't us. It was Aiden, and Rusev was like so chuffed that his best friend managed to get him this spot. It's good to see Rusev Day hasn't fallen apart. I'm glad WWE have pulled the plug of trying to split them up. You can tell they are over, and if they do it correctly, this could be a really cool tag team champions at some point. I really would love to see. So for me, this little backstage segment really good, and it gets next week's triple threat match looking really hyped as well. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Next up, we got Jeff Hardy coming out to the ring to pretty much put a challenge onto Randy Orton. After last week when Jeff put Randy through a table, he explained his actions. Look, Randy's done exactly what Randy does. He pushed me to the limit, and he brought me to a new state in my life where I've gone back to the Jeff Hardy of old with a new mix, which was great. I like what Jeff Hardy brings onto the table, literally brings to the table. But it was a so promo, because we had Randy Orton come out at this point, and both men were bickering back and forth, and Jeff pretty much stated the challenge of a Hell in a Cell match. Now that's fine. Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton are legends enough to have that type of match. It just felt, well, there's only one match on SmackDown Live which could use the Hell in a Cell, gimmick match, and that's Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And I'll explain this later on, but for me it just felt like they're just giving SmackDown Live a Hell in a Cell, and they just chose, Randy and Jeff, which I can understand. The storyline's been building for some time now, but it just feels like, Joe and AJ's match is going to blow over so big that the Hell in a Cell is the only way to contain it in the ring. So, yeah, I'm alright with this. I'm just disappointed it's going to Jeff and Randy who's getting the Hell in a Cell match. So, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Next up, we got Naomi taking on Billie Kay this week with Peyton Royce watching on. This is pretty much, again, very similar to what we got last week. Actually, it is very, very similar, apart from Billie Kay held on to Naomi's hair, and when she pulled it, you could see the neon blow out of Naomi's hair, which was weird. It was cool effect, I thought that was cool, but very, very similar. Peyton Royce getting involved when the referee wasn't looking, allowing Billie Kay to get the pinfall. They did do their iconic thing where they take the mick out of the city they're in and Naomi, their opponent. But again, it's just, there's no real story, there's no substance to this match for me, and it just took away for, it's taking away airtime for, real rivalries. If they're building up to a rivalry where Naomi has to get a friend to help her, that's fine, but I just can't see it right now, and I just don't know where this, is Naomi going to have a, handicap match between Billie Kay and Peyton Royce or something? Maybe, but until then, it just felt like filler yet again, so I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. Next up, we had Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella come out on stage, out to the ring, to send a message to the Miz and Maryse, and they was pretty much ready for what the Miz had done last week with him acting his way through, saying he's got the hardest punch on SmackDown Live, he's acted about everything he's ever done, and he's acted about being a wrestler, which is great. This is Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella having a great chemistry in the ring. Brie saying the best bit about last week was when she was coming out, she wasn't aiming to hit the Miz, she was ready to take down Maryse, but Miz got in her way and she felt so good doing this. Daniel Bryan said, look, my wife is hot, and it was even hotter to see her smack the Miz in the face, which is always awesome. They were soon interrupted by Zelina, Vega and Andrade, Cien, Almas. A match I was hoping to see sometime down the line, but it was great to see happen right now. Zelina and Andrade were in the ring. Andrade was speaking Spanish. You could tell Daniel Bryan had no clue what he was saying. And Zelina Vega was like, look, I'm in the ring with two legends right now. Brie Bella and Andrade Cien Almas. No offense, Daniel. And that was great as well. It was a great mock to Daniel Bryan. But I've shown a lot of respect to Brie Bella. Surprised, she hasn't really accomplished that much as a singles competitor herself. Daniel said, look, they wanted a match with Daniel. Daniel said, look, if I was GM still, I would just allow it, but I'm not. Waited for Paige. No music. He goes, well, that's embarrassing. And then Paige finally turns him and goes, I'm sorry, Daniel. My offer's at the other side and you don't have to run in his heels, which was great by Paige. And she authorised the match. So that moves us on to the match itself. For this great promo from Daniel Bryan, Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega, a great addition to this kind of storyline right now. Gives them a high profile match, but I'll go into the match itself. So I'm giving this segment, promo towards the Miz, a 6 out of 10. The match itself was a hell of a lot better than the promo, to be honest with you. Daniel Bryan versus Andrade Cien Almas is a match I've been looking forward to seeing, and they really, really delivered. It was a very short match, but what they showed just shows how good both men are, and it's just like, I want to see this as a match for a title in a few years' time, sometime down the line this year, because I really want to see it. Andrade and Daniel Bryan were able to reverse moves all the time, and it was just a brilliant, hard-hitting match. Daniel Bryan looked absolutely fantastic. Zelina Vega and Brie Bella on the sides watching on, and we also had the Miz and Maryse watching backstage. During the match, the Maryse did whisper something to the Miz's ear. They went out, and the Miz interfered with the match itself. Andrade tried to use the distraction of the Miz to his advantage, couldn't happen. Brie then got attacked by Zelina Vega, but she then got countered by Brie Bella. Then Maryse took out Brie. Then the Miz took out Daniel Bryan, which ended the match in DQ. Then Andrade and the Miz took out Daniel Bryan together, with making Brie Bella watch on by Maryse and Zelina Vega. And then Maryse was pretty much taking out Brie Bella in front of Daniel Bryan, who was being put in the yes slot by the Miz, by the way, which was great. And then the Miz took out Daniel Bryan with the skull crushing finale. Really great match, really good build up for the Miz, Maryse and Daniel Bryan Brie match at Hell in a Cell. Really all well put together. I thought this was the right decision. Have it at DQ, so Andrade looks strong. It means he's not lost there to Daniel Bryan, in a traditional way, which saves face for him, which is great. So for me, I've got to give this an 8 out of 10. Next up, we had AJ Styles having yet to come out to the ring for another message towards Samoa Joe. Last week he was attacked by Samoa Joe. This week he was in the centre ring and he was ready. He said, look Joe, you've crossed the line so many times. You've attacked me. You've attacked my family. You brought this on. I am going to destroy you. I'm going to make sure you do not walk out of Hell in the Cell. This is all because Paige has announced that Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe will be going to Hell in the Cell for the WWE title yet again. I cannot wait. This rivalry's been building up fantastically, and next thing we know, Samoa Joe's on the big screen talking to AJ Styles. Then he rings up Wendy, AJ's wife, and starts talking to her, says, oh, that back to school barbecue, yeah, I'll be there, save me a plate. Oh, you might see me next week, Wendy. And that was brilliant. AJ lost it, ran backstage looking for Joe everywhere, could not find him. Samoa Joe's mind games have been working brilliant. This rivalry between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe is just something I was not expecting. It's one of the best stories going on in WWE right now, and I cannot wait for Hell in a Cell to see how this ends. Because either way, if Samoa Joe takes the title, I'm happy. If AJ retains the title, I'm happy. It's one of those matches where you just like, I don't care who wins, I just want a fantastic match, and you know they're going to deliver. So, bit of a shame it's not going to be in Hell in a Cell itself, the actual Hell in a Cell cage, but my god, just wish WWE makes this the main event, because it's building up to be the main event match. So I've got to give this promo and all this backstage stuff an 8 out of 10. This moves us on to the main event itself, and it's for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair versus Carmella. This is Carmella's rematch, and I've got to say this was Carmella's best match, singles match. It really was. There was a lot of missteps though by Carmella, but again, she isn't as good as Becky Lynch, Charlotte, or others in the ring. She's probably one of the weaker wrestlers on SmackDown Live for the women's division. But she really impressed me last night on how well she put the work in against Charlotte. Charlotte was great at selling, and I think both women really did a fantastic job. It looked like a few times where Carmella was going to get the victory, a shock victory, but no. Charlotte Flair managed to work her way out of it, bust her ass. She finally managed to get Carmella where she wanted her. Natural selection, win the figure 8, making Carmella tap. Carmella held on for quite some time. I thought she was going to tap out straight away, but no, she tried to get to the ropes. She couldn't do it. She finally had to tap out. Charlotte was celebrating when Becky Lynch got in the ring, and I'll tell you this, during the match itself, everyone was chanting, "We want Becky," and I can't blame her. When Becky came out though, they were crazy. Becky took out Charlotte in no time, and she left a hell of a message to Charlotte Flair, and she just went, "I'm coming for my title, you bitch," and that was a right message to Charlotte Flair. The crowd went mental. Becky's holding the title, her title. Everyone's going crazy. I cannot wait to see how Charlotte versus Becky goes down at Hell in a Cell. Please give Becky the title at Hell in a Cell. I know it's a short reign for Charlotte, but this would be a fantastic way for Becky Lynch to become a heel champion. I don't even think she's heel. I still don't think she's heel, because everyone was booing Charlotte when Charlotte was in the corner there holding the title, when they're focusing on her after the attack, and they were booing her. When Becky came into the ring and kicked Charlotte in the head, they were going crazy and cheering her on like she's the face, like it's her title. Everyone sees Becky Lynch as still the babyface and Charlotte as the heel in this storyline. WWE have to do that. They're going to have to make Charlotte the heel and Becky the babyface, but a badass attitude babyface as it is. So for me, with all this in mind, Carmella having a fantastic match, best match she's had as a singles competitor. Becky Lynch brilliant right now. Charlotte's selling fantastic. I've got to give this an 8 out of 10. It was a great main event for the show, and it was a title match as the main event. Just tells you something there, guys, doesn't it? And there you go. That was SmackDown Live for this week. What do I think? I think it was well put together. You had a brilliant triple threat match to kick off the show. You had King Baka on, which is always good. You had a title match, which was the main event of the show, which it should always be. If your show has a title match in it, you should have that as the main event, no matter what. I don't care if it's not the big dog who's not going to always be in the main event, because look at what Charlotte, Carmella and Becky Lynch was able to do. They cut a fantastic storytelling match in the main event. And everything, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, it's just brilliant. SmackDown Live is building up these stories fantastically. There was less matches, a lot more promo yet again, but everything is just coming together great. For me, I've got to give SmackDown Live an 8 out of 10 this week. What was your favourite part of SmackDown Live, guys? Leave it in the comments below. If you do like our videos, please like, subscribe and press the notification bell. If you want to keep up to date with all our videos here at Smack Talk, please follow us on Twitter at Smack Talk YouTube. That's Smack Talk YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter as well, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.